Hey YouTube, welcome back. This is Fletch. In this video we're going to be talking about tips and tricks for packaging your long-term consumables, your food, things like rice, wheat, beans, in Mylar bags and then putting them in 5-gallon buckets for long-term storage. And the things that I wanted to share with you are things that I wish I would have known ahead of time. If you're like me, you might learn better by actually doing things than you do by watching someone else do it or reading about it. And so I wanted to share a couple things with you that my family and I have learned in the process of putting up food. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to share with you is about buckets. There's lots of different choices out there for buckets, but you know, we have a large family and not a lot of money right now. So one of the best values that I was able to find anywhere are these buckets you can get from Lowe's. I don't work for Lowe's, no endorsement with Lowe's, nothing to do with them. It just happens to be a decent product at a decent price. Here locally in our area, you can buy this bucket for $2.54. And if you look on the bottom of the bucket here, and I know you won't be able to see it in the camera, but it has the plastic symbol 5 in here. So this is a food grade container. And as long as there hasn't been anything else inside the bucket, it's brand new, there's no reason why you can't put food in here. That's what this bucket is made for. Another nice thing about these buckets is that they're dark, so they don't let in any light. If you have a white colored bucket or a lighter colored bucket, it might let in some light. And with a darker colored bucket, it blocks out the light. You can also get these lids from Lowe's, and as you can see in the video here, they're pretty thin, so they're easy to get off and on the edges. However, they do seem to be pretty durable. I've had, for some time now, I've had these stacked 3 deep, and the lids on the bottom seem to stay on fine, seem to be holding up fine as well. So again, $2.54 for the bucket, 99 cents for the lid, $3.54 for a bucket. A lot cheaper than what you're going to find out there in other places. I know when I was looking online, including having to pay shipping, it was ridiculous. Between $7 and $15 a piece, including the lid, to get food grade buckets. And you can just go down to your local Lowe's, like I said, here locally, a total of $3.54 per. Another nice thing about these buckets is you can buy these. This is called a Gamma lid, G-A-M-M-A, Gamma seal lid. And if you just Google those, you can find them in lots of different places. Pretty much any type of emergency supply store is going to have them. The nice thing about these particular lids is it's a 2-piece kit. The first part that you have is a seal ring, and inside this seal ring there excuse me, there's a gasket in there. So these are pretty tight to get on. You'll probably need a rubber mallet to get this to mount onto the ring, and I have other plans for this, so I'm not going to put it on right now. But if you just take a rubber mallet and tap it on there lightly, it'll go on, and because it's a gasketed seal, it'll stay on there really well. The next part about this lid system is the centerpiece. The centerpiece also has, you can see it's a white gasket in there, and this provides an airtight seal. So let's say if, you see how it just screws back in there. If you were to be opening up this long-term storage bag of wheat berries here, you could take it and dump it in to this bucket. Then when you're done, you put the lid on and screw it shut, and you've got an airtight seal. The nice thing about this is that you can, like say you're eating out of this supply, it's a lot easier to just open up this airtight lid. Now obviously you don't want to use this for your long-term storage. Sealing it in a Mylar bag is your best option for long-term storage. But let's say if you had flour or wheat or rice in here and you were eating out of it, it makes it a lot easier when you can just put it in this bucket with an airtight lid. These Gamma lids run anywhere from $7 to $10 online. Here locally, we've got a supplier that sells them. I think I paid $7 for this, so great deal. Moving on, let's talk about the Mylar bags themselves. The Mylar bags, obviously the higher quality of bag that you get, the easier it's going to make it because it's a thicker bag, and the thicker the bag is, the better it'll stand up when you're trying to pour your contents into them, and also obviously for long-term durability. 4 mils, 4.3 mils seems to be kind of the I'd say the norm, so to speak, for a high-quality bag. I happen to get these off of Amazon.com this time. Got a pretty good deal by them as a package with the oxygen absorbers. Some things that we've learned from packaging into these Mylar bags is typically, if you're watching YouTube videos and whatnot, what they're going to tell you to do is use a level like this. And they're going to tell you that you push all the air out of the bag before it's sealed, obviously. You lay your level across it like that. You flatten it out, you take your iron, and you iron the seam. And this way does work. However, I found a better way to do it. As I mentioned earlier, I bought these off of Amazon. And when I was on Amazon, I was reading the reviews for this product. And one of the reviewers mentioned that he used his wife's straightening iron, hair straightening iron. And it works awesome. I borrowed my wife's with her permission, of course. Excuse me. And it's just a basic, this says wet to straight Remington. I'm sure my wife bought this at China Mart or something like that, so there's nothing great or specific about it. But this works great for sealing your bags. So basically all you want to do is, just like you would do before, you push all of the air out of the bag, then take your straightener, start on one end of the bag, and crimp it down about 1 inch. Then slide slowly all the way across the bag to the end, hold it for a second at the end, and leave about 1/8 of an inch here on the end. And the reason why you're going to leave about the 1/8 of the bag open at the end, not 1/8 of an inch, but 1/8 of the bag left open, is so that you can put your vacuum hose in there so that you can suck it down and create a vacuum in the bag, a negative vacuum. And I'll explain that in a second as well. But what we're going to, again, all you're going to do is you take the hair straightener, start on one side, work your way across, and leave about 1/8 of the bag open. And this hair straightener works great. The reason why it works better, in my opinion, is that it generates heat on both sides of the bag, so you get a much stronger, much better seal when you use something like this, as compared to using an aluminum level. With this aluminum level, when you put your bag on there and you iron, you're only producing heat on one side of the bag, so you don't get quite as good a seal on the bag. And when you use a hair straightener, it works great. But just make sure you check with your wife before you steal her hair straightener, and let her know it's not going to hurt it in any way, just working with this bag, so there's no issue there.